My name's Luke Perry and I build public monuments and artworks, mainly community based and for the West Midlands, and particularly the industrial West Midlands. And this that we're standing in at the moment is my family factory, and we've had the company for about 102 years now, and it's a traditional heavy metal bashing factory, and that's really the sort of industries that my monuments and sculptures like to portray. The gearing behind it is really trying to make an icon of what people's characteristics are and the area's characteristics, and to sort of solidify that into a finished monument. The monument I'm working on at the moment, which is the female chainmaker strike monument, comes from the fact that in 1910 there was a terrible disproportionate wage with women and men, because you were paid by the weight of the chain that you made. So for a woman to make the same weight as a man would make in, say, a day, they'd probably have to work a week. And the women were literally starving, but it wasn't popularised. No one knew about it until there was a woman called Mary MacArthur, and she was a union leader, and she banded the chain makers together in a strike. And this strike established, won, and it established the first ever minimum wage. And so this monument really is to just allow people to know how important their area is, the richness of history that we have here, and the importance of the stance that these women made. Something which I'm particularly keen on is making monuments to real people. You know, all the monuments we've got in this country, or most of them, are to sort of politicians or lords or kings, but there's not many monuments to the people that kept that country going, and that are essentially the bread and butter of this country. And so it's a real privilege to be able to make something to the real people that made a really heroic stand and won that strike to establish something that's affected all of us. Working with public art, I mean, the joy of it is literally making it. Obviously the subject matter is very important, but I really love making things. The monument I'm working on at the moment is a particularly unique way of making something. I knew what I wanted to make, and I knew what I wanted it to look like after talking with loads of people about what they thought should be part of an artwork. And that was to have a huge, very proud steel artwork. I made a monument, maquette, which is like a clay model, 3rd scale. So we scanned that, and then this scanned image was given to a CNC machine, which is basically a massive, great big drill on an arm, and that cut out thousands of layers of foam, which you then get a foam version of your monument the right size. That isn't quite correct, so you have to then chop it, put wax into it, change it and cut it into sections that can then have sand packed around it, and then you break the polystyrene foam out of that sand, which creates the void that the metal is poured into. So you pour the metal in, and then what comes out is this horrible mess, and then you grind all the mess back to find what you'd actually made in the first place, and you cut that up, weld it, shot blast it, and file it, wax it, heat it, polish it, and there you are, a couple of years' work. The Black Country is a particularly interesting place because no matter what you make, if it's public art, they go, could have bought an hospital bed with that. But eventually, they really start to like it. Once it's been in 5 years, everyone will love it. It'll just be an established thing. And also, I know exactly what they'll say. They'll say, well, when are you going to paint it? Because it's sort of rusty coloured. But that's one of the things that I love about this area, is that it's really grounded, it's completely unpretentious, but they will like it eventually. I'm pretty confident about that. I hope so.